here.
Boy, I'm just saying.
Oh, I see the
Could have
live
played
one.
fact.
Apparently the stream is not, it's coming up now, so it should be fairly soon.
Okay.
Alright, well good luck to you.
Yes, there it is.
My microphone binds and start churning out stat.
Good morning, everybody. Alright, sounds like we're watching a Bruce Lee commercial here, looks like. And now a bunch of other commercials. Is this correct from what you guys are saying?
Yep.
Okay, great. It looks like our cast is about to start here. This is Cholera, and I'm joined with Moletrap and KnightofNi from SC2GG.com. We're watching right now the live stream of the TV channel. I'm not sure which one it is, whether it's NBC or OGN, but the Pro League, the OSL finals will be starting very, very soon here. Right before we begin here, we were talking before about predictions, and I'm curious what my other two casters, once again, Moletrap and KnightofNi, are thinking.
Stork is going to win 2-0. 2-0. Yeah, because what's going to happen?
2-0.
Yeah, everyone's thinking, but it's a best of 5. How can he win with only 2 wins? Here's what's going to happen. He's going to stomp Fantasy so hard in the second game, he's going to run out of the building crying. And Stork will win by default with 2 wins.
You know, I'm watching these dancers right now, and I'm just really hoping one of them isn't backhoe.
You're scarred for life on that, aren't you, man?
Yes, I am. And by the way, thank you. Thanks for everyone who is in the channel right now. This is an absolutely great turnout. 660 people. I mean, this is like a political rally here or something. Shout out to everyone from SC2G.com and from TeamLiquid.net for showing up. This is hopefully not going to lag too much. And yeah, sorry for any technical difficulties, but like I said in my promo video at least, this is the first time we're doing anything of this type. We're integrating English commentary in sync with the Korean video of the Wonder Girls, by the way. That's what we're going to watch today, just the Wonder Girls dancing on stage. We're going to commentate on it. I like the girl in the red dress right now.
The girl in the red dress. Oh, no, no!
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, just if you really want to, Google Lake Half Dancing on YouTube. But yeah, anyway. So I'm actually thinking Stork 3-1. I really think that Stork is going to pick up the first 2 matches, and the only game I foreseeably see Fantasy winning is on Return of the King, which I feel is strongly Terran favored. Plasma otherwise I'd say would be slightly Terran favored, but Stork has evidently been something like 37-3 or something in practice sessions against Terran, or so he says, and so far he's never lost on Plasma, so we'll have to see what he goes for there, but I'm thinking he's going to take the series on Plasma. So Moletrap, your real predictions?
Moletrap.
Looks like we may have lost Moletrap there for a second.
He lagged out.
Yeah, that's right. What were your predictions again, Knight?
Oh, I predict Stork 3-1 as well. Just because I think he'll take 2 of the first 3. Just because he often starts quickly in the finals and then just completely falls apart. But Plasma is the 4th map, and Stork's win rate on Plasma is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, something like 37-3.
Well, yeah, he hasn't lost in a real game on Plasma yet. But yeah, I think that the first match. Yes, you are back live.
Yes, you are.
Okay, sorry.
I think Chapung Ryung's going to be interesting actually. Chapung Ryung is the map being played on games 1 and 5 if it gets to it, and I was initially thinking it was going to be a little bit Terran favored actually, but it seems that statistically it's actually Protoss favored. I guess the different alleyways that you can attack the center with make a really big factor there. And you know what I want to see actually is if Stork goes for the proxy gateways on Chapong Ryung, because that has actually been sort of a standard Protoss option. I think Protoss versus Terran, I've seen proxy gates 2 games at least, or you know, like 1/2 of the games. And you know, the Terrans forced to pull SCVs and kill it, or have to deal with early zealots. So we'll see if that comes into play there.
Yeah, I think that map it's very good for Protoss because of carriers. The way that the cliffs are set up, there's always a cliff for carriers to escape onto, and we saw that huge in the game between Tester and Flash, where Tester went for a 2-base carrier build, a 2-base carrier rush, and he just abused the cliffs so much and pulled a huge upset on Flash. I think it was like the first week of Pro League or something, and it really shocked everybody. But he just abused the cliffs so well that there was like really no way that it looked like there's nothing that Flash could have done about it.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember that game between I believe it was Best and who was it that Best played on it? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who it was. It was a Terran player, but Best just really shined on that map and was able just to repeatedly, it was Best versus Midas earlier in the OSL actually, and he was just able to repeatedly outflank Midas even when Best was behind in the beginning, and he basically just used a combination of pretty much speed lots and arbiters. Interesting, I mean he had Dragoons as backup, but really those speed lots were really quite useful because I did a map preview on this map, and there's just so many different entryways. I think each of the side passages has 4 ramps leading to the center of the map, so it's just basically crazy how many ways you can go up and down.
Yeah, it's a really.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go on.
Oh, I was just gonna completely derail the conversation by saying, if you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it. Korean Spice Girls, anyone? Yeah?
God, no.
Kind of.
Stop right there. Thank you very much. I need somebody. Look, the dance is the same as the Spice Girls dance. Seriously.
Same number of them, too.
Exactly.
Are these actually the famous Wonder Girls that I missed last time?
I have no idea. I don't
Someone
think so. They
confirm or deny that? Huh. Well, in any case, though, I can't actually see the chat on the... Yes, I know. I cannot unsee and cannot unhear. I mean, I've seen Backhoe, and now I've heard Moletrap. It's just not good here. But I can't actually see the chat on Mogulus, but so I'm not going to be able to respond to anything there. I think they just stop allowing new people to see the chat after the first, 600 people or so.
He turned the chat off.
700 people.
Oh, you turned the chat off. I see.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Oh, I see.
Probably
and now
a good move.
There's a banner for the sc2g.com chat. That makes sense. 700 people. This is just absolutely amazing here.
Man, for 5 a.m. at the East Coast and 2 a.m. Pacific, and this is huge.
I mean, last night, to watch me play, and to watch me try to do Mulus Micro, there was 130 people, and I was impressed by that. But what I was really impressed by was the fact that when I logged onto the stream, just to check the URL, it was at 11 p.m., so it was 8 hours ago, or no, 6 hours ago. There were already 60 people there in the channel, just waiting for the games to begin. And I'm like, guys, it's going to be in 6 hours. And they're like, yeah, I know. But we've got to get the seats here now. So I'm really impressed by everyone who's stayed up this late and watched it. Just big shout out to you guys.
Yeah, DJ told me that 100 people were watching the stream like all day. There was like something like 5,400 minutes. 54,000 video minutes watched during the course of the day where nothing was going on.
Wow.
I think I might have been one of those people.
It's like waiting in line, from the night before to watch the Lord of the Rings movie or something like that.
Yeah. That's actually a
It's
good
a little bit
comparison.
more ridiculous.
Actually, watching, looks like we're seeing some.
You guys are ridiculous, and we love you for it.
Yeah, you guys are. Do you guys see right
Be
now?
here without you.
Sorry, do you guys see right now? Just looks like some highlights from previous OSLs here.
I'm seeing a darkened
Well,
crowd
just-
right now.
Yeah, I mean on the
I
little
might be a little ahead of you guys.
Yeah.
brighten
I'm
area.
watching
That's-
at the source here.
There's Savior.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching. The big S coming into focus. So, do you think Savior will destroy everybody in 2009?
I
vote no,
actually.
I've been wrong before.
I actually am gonna vote yes. Why not? What the hell? I think Savior will destroy everyone in 2009. Okay.
He might. He seems to have the drive, I guess. I mean, previous to his little thing there, I would have said no. But since he's actually been talking about how he's been practicing his butt off and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and how he really has the drive to keep going and all that stuff, that's really what he lacked before, I think, that made him fall off of his game in the first place. So if he actually does have that willpower back and he's actually practicing a lot, then he could very well come back and destroy everyone, theoretically, but
It's
I'm
only if we're
skeptical.
okay with it, though.
It's going to take more than a few wins for me to believe that. Whoa,
It's
what
only
the
if we're
heck?
okay with it.
What is
You know,
going on? Fantasy walking in surrounded by, like, women in white dresses here for some reason.
What the hell?
Backhoe and Lomo.
No! No! Stop!
Backhoe in the blonde wig. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna make a public confession to all of you, 700 people. I actually thought that was a real girl, and I was actually kind of checking her out during the video until I read the video comments and I found out that it was actually the Lake Half Protoss player, Backhoe.
That's unfortunate. The sad thing is, it looked kind of real. I will say that much. And afterwards, I was like, oh, God.
Whatever.
That will be seared into my brain for the next 12 months.
Oh, here comes the pimp himself. Yeah, Byung-Sung-gu walking down the aisle.
Byung-Sung-gu indeed.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're seeing him being escorted once again. It's like they're getting married almost. There's like the people throwing, well, it's confetti, but looks like rice almost. I don't know.
Did we, by the way, did we decide, are we going to talk about Stork versus Cow, or are we going to try not to spoil that?
I've watched it, but I don't know.
I actually haven't watched it. I was going to talk about Stork
mean-
versus 4GG, but yeah, go ahead. Let's spoil it.
Okay, well, I mean, I can talk about it without spoiling, but I didn't know if it had already been spoiled, then I was just going to go for it, but,
I don't know. It's
I
up
think
to
I'm
you.
going to actually cast that later, so I would prefer it not to be spoiled. But I
Okay.
was going to say that, oh, there's a shot of me, by the way. I'm the guy in the white suit, and Moletrap is right now. Hey, how's it going, Moletrap? Oh, good, good. But anyway, I was going to say, I think that Stork performed incredibly well against 4GG, and if that is any indication of anything, Fantasy getting something taken out of his hair there, that, you know, I think Fantasy is going to have a really tough road against him. And 4GG is by no means a poor player, even though he's kind of inconsistent since his MSL win. But Stork, you know, 2-1'd 4GG in the MSL round of 16, and in the second game, it really was, when he lost, it was only because he was a little too impetuous in his attacks. He was just a little bit too hasty in trying to finish him off. And I think if he has that in check, he should be able to, you know, to defeat the like of Fantasy in this series at least.
Man, I'm really glad I watched those games today. on the way back, I was watching them from college. But yeah, I watched that game. I thought he had 4GG completely beaten after he took down his natural, but he just kept pushing in, or he didn't take it down. He almost did, but he just kept pushing in and in and in and in, and then it kind of failed. I don't know what happened. It just turned sour really fast for him, and I just hope that kind of thing doesn't happen today.
Yeah, Stork, he just got way overzealous about, he knew he was ahead in that second game and just said, OMG, I want to finish this quick, and then just threw everything out, and he just, yeah, you don't just A-move an entrenched Terran with a ridge to camp tanks off the top of and stuff like that. It just doesn't quite work out. It almost did, actually, to his credit, but not quite enough. Hey, UV in the audience there. That's kind of cool. Anyway, by the way, since UV popped up there, I wanted to mention, I noticed that basically Stork, this entire OSL, has been owning SKT1. Because think about it, Best and
Absolutely.
Bisu are the people he's beaten in so far. He also beat, I believe, Bisu and Fantasy in the group stages. The only people that aren't from SKT who he's beat in the group stage were Backho and whoever the other guy was.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be interesting. You know, Fantasy reminds me of a young boxer. I mean, just the way he looks, kind of a scrawny version of boxer that needs to like grow up and just play better. But I'm serious though. I mean, he played so creatively against GG Play. I mean, just inventing a build that, you know, the people are talking about, you know, people considering actually making a new Terran versus Zerg build. It just really is quite exciting, and the fact that obviously he's from SKT1, where of course Boxer used to play, and then his protege I Love UV is now coach, certainly makes the case of him being quote unquote a young Boxer. Does anyone else think that Stork just woke up like about 10 minutes ago? He just looks really tired, like us, you know. Just look at him, his hair's all disheveled, and he's
Yeah,
Go ahead.
he does kind of look like that. I don't know though. I think he's really probably been practicing his butt off for this. I mean, you could tell versus Best that he really wanted it, and he had been practicing so hard to get there. And you could tell, I mean, versus 4GG, he hadn't practiced at all. He literally hadn't practiced at all because he was getting ready to, you know, he was basically getting ready to beat Best, and so, yeah, that's basically where it came from. But Stork, I think he's definitely been practicing for this one here, and you know, he's probably put his entire heart into this, and I think he's prepared. Even though, like you say, he doesn't look prepared right now, then
oh yeah, of
I
course
think
he is
still
mentally
kinda is.
prepared. I mean, when you
Yeah,
looked at
so-
Flash back when Flash was on top of the world, the kid looked like he was he was getting up from like a 3-night bender every time he'd go in and then win, you know, 5 games in a row. But that's the way he looked in the
10
beginning.
games. 20
Yeah.
games.
Well, anyway, let's turn the focus a little bit to Fantasy here. Jungmyeon Hoon. We're just seeing right now some statistics actually from. By the way, shout out to World Communist 8 for helping fix up the pregame show and now giving us lots of live statistics. But let's talk a little bit about Royal Roaders in the past. Really, some of the biggest names in StarCraft history have actually been Royal Roaders. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it means basically the first time you join the OSL, you win the OSL. And right now we're seeing a list here. Back from 2000, we had Garimto, then Boxer, then Nada, Jelizerg, Anytime Savior, and Jaedong. Those 7 players have been the ones who walked the Royal Road. And right now we're seeing that Fantasy has a chance to do so. I'm not sure how many people have had a chance to do so but didn't. But that is certainly, you know, an impressive group of people. Jaedong,
Yeah,
Savior,
you know,
I mean, just... Yeah, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, it is pretty exciting to have Fantasy as a possibility of a Royal Roader, and it's kind of cool that either one, whoever wins, it's either going to be Stork's finally getting a victory, or Fantasy being a Royal Roader. But you know what? I gotta go with Stork. I just can't give him up. He's just never going to let me down.
No! No! No!
Oh my god. Alright. And this is what we're actually going to watch, by
That's
the way.
terrible.
This entire live cast was actually a Rickroll. That was just all made up. Look at all you. You got,
Oh my
You
god.
got pwned. You got pwned by us.
Don't.
Alright, by the
Nice.
way, just to get serious, I'm gonna say whenever you cut this video off, I'm just gonna say this video is off just for syncing purposes. Like, I know KnightofNi and I will be a little bit behind because Moletrap is actually at Dirty J's house. Dirty J is a huge shout out to Dirty J, by the way. While we're watching Rick Astley. Yeah, but yeah, Dirty J at esportstv.com is the one providing us with the technology and with the wherewithal to be streaming this live for the first time on Mogulus. So huge shout out to DJ.
Oh, hey guys. Apparently the Rickroll actually did cut off our audio completely, so they're not hearing us.
Yeah,
at the moment.
that's.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah,
Should
apparently.
be just
So, so we really are Rickrolling the world here.
And I see our viewers dropping and going down.
No, we're back.
Alright, we're back now. Sorry about that, guys. I couldn't resist. DJ brought it up on the other screen. He's like, dude, we could totally Rickroll everyone, and he was just joking. And I'm like, no, we have to do it. Get that set up. And so that was my proudest moment as a caster, I have to say.
That's nice.
Thanks. watching
life is complete
Rick
now.
Astley. Yes. Watching Rick Astley dance there really made my night.
Anyway,
But,
sorry, getting back.
730
You were talking about Royal Rotors. They're showing some of the Royal Rotors now, I believe. We just saw Nada a second ago.
There's Nada, yeah. By the way, just for
Yay,
syncing
Nada.
purposes, I'm watching Nada speak right now. I see I Love UV right now. Is that what you see there about Moletrap,
Yeah,
or
that's
is that
what I'm seeing.
earlier?
Yeah.
I see it spazzed right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem in our cast tonight, actually. What we were saying was Moletrap is actually at Dirty J's house. And by the way, big shout out to DJ, Dirty J from www.esportstv.com. He's providing us with the technology and with the wherewithal to actually stream this live on Mogulus. And we're actually seeing him minimize the window here.
Apparently, its Dom player itself is actually screwing up, and he's getting the stream from the Dom player. So there's not much you can do
okay.
because Dom is the one that's kind of lagging around.
Right.
It sounds like the way it's been the last 6 months. Dom has been just terrible. At least it has been for me. It's like I watch it for 2 seconds and then it buffers for 20 minutes and then 2 more seconds and then repeat.
Alright, well, looks like we're back streaming live now. I just saw Stork. Is that what you just saw, Moletrap?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
Now I'm seeing the 3 announcers.
Now I see his desktop.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying to maybe reload the stream to get a better broadcast server, so hopefully it'll stop the lag.
Alright, and
Well,
by
we
the
have a
way,
few minutes before it starts, so.
yeah, the Rickroll did not actually kill the stream. Although it does have the tendency to do things like that.
No, in fact, the Rickroll, while the Rickroll was happening, the stream was severely lagged, so you weren't missing anything anyway.
It was a good time.
It was a commercial, too.
Buffering.
So, what do you guys think will happen if Stork makes it into Game 5? If there is a Game 5, rather. Not if Fantasy makes it into Game 5. How much pressure do you think will be on Stork, and how do you think he'll actually respond to the pressure? I mean, basically, my question is, are we going to hear a loud,
Really choke.
asphyxiating sound? Yes. Oh, it looks like the game's
I don't
actually
know,
started
man.
here. Is the game actually started?
No, they're just warming up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just testing out their mouse settings and stuff. They usually do that. They go into the just play like a game against the comp real quick or something like that to make sure their mouse sensitivity is correct and that sort of thing. So I think that's all they're doing right now. As far as the choking though, you know, I really want to say I don't think Stork is going to choke because, like I said, I think he's just been really preparing a lot for this, and he wasn't quite as prepared for the other matches, that sort of thing, where he got his silvers. I want to say that, but you know, he's done it before, and he's got some of the best Protoss versus Terran in the universe when he wants to, but you know, he had the best Protoss versus Terran when he was really on top of his game, and then Iris came and 3-0 steamrolled him kind of out of nowhere, even though Iris wasn't really that good at the time. So, you know, I'm not going to put anything past Stork, but I do think he's matured, though. You can tell he wants it more. You can tell his heart is in it a lot more, and he's just been really, really preparing. He learned his lesson about preparing for games. I mean, he didn't prepare very much against J-Dog and got the floor wiped for himself. So I think he's probably going to be able to come back out a little bit better this time. And I don't know. I think even if he chokes a little bit, I think he's still going to do fine because I think he's just that much better than Fantasy. Fantasy has been playing mediocre lately. He's been losing in Pro League and not doing too well in Barrel. So Stork, on the other hand, has been completely on fire. So I don't know.
I think part of the reason that Fantasy hasn't been doing very well recently in Pro League is because people figured out his build. His build is not that difficult to beat. It just takes a timing attack basically with Zerglings will own it every single time. As we saw with the game versus Effort, we saw Savior do it against Midas. We were seeing July couldn't crack Gogo's build, but there was a much bigger map. So it really, he's been playing mostly Zergs in Pro League recently, and he has been getting beaten by those Zergs because they have started figuring out his build. It just isn't working for him right now, and he needs to go back to Eminem against Zerg. If he ever did Eminem against Zerg, I don't really know. I never saw any games TVZ from him before the OSL semis.
Yeah, I mean, I think the map pool is really going to make a big factor, of course, in what is going to actually happen in these games. I really, for example, for the first game, I really think it's going to come down to how well Fantasy can push out in the middle of the game. If it gets, well, it's probably going to get to a mid game, I believe, on Chipong Ryong, and you know, it's really going to come down to tactics. I think. Does Fantasy have a build? Now, Firebat Hero, on the other hand, just to mention him briefly, he prepared himself quite well against Protoss, which is a very, very aggressive opening in pretty much all of his games in the MSL. And you know, you just wonder if Fantasy has some kind of preparedness like that in his mind, some kind of general strategy on how to beat Stork. And Moletrap, are you still around?
Oh yeah, sorry. I didn't realize you're asking me directly. If you were.
No.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know. I'm expecting probably some interesting stuff out of Stork. You know, we've been seeing him play a little bit more aggressive lately, and I think that's how he beat best. Is he came out and was just really aggressive. And he's been doing well when he has been aggressive. So, you know,
what I'm afraid of?
Not going to talk about Cal, sorry, but
okay.
His aggressiveness did factor into the matchups with Cal. I'll just say that, and I won't say which way I mean it.
What I'm afraid of is actually not him being aggressive. It's him being playing too standard, actually, because I do think that if he does get beaten in some of these games, that he is really, if he gets, you know, he's going to go back to relying on just you know, fundamental Protoss versus Terran, and I'm just very afraid that that is not going to be able to cut it against Fantasy if he goes back to playing incredibly safe. I mean, his over-aggression, I think, could lead to something like that. I mean, it depends on, though. I mean, I really think against 4GG he showed that. Yeah, go ahead.
If he's aggressive and he messes up with his aggression, then he'll revert back and try and play safe, and that won't do well in the long run. Is that kind of what you're saying?
That's what he's done in the past, actually. And his standard game against players like Flash and Jaedong has just been completely insufficient. I mean, he'll go back to one of, like, a couple of things. Like, one thing he loves to do, for example, is two-base carriers. I like to call him the Pterodactyl Protoss because of that. But, and two-base carriers is a great build, but I mean, remember how much... Yeah. Actually, my stream is frozen. Okay. I don't know if that's true for you.
Mine's going.
Okay, so we got, yeah, well, let's just get started then here. We're going to have Fantasy in the top right-hand corner, or not corner, but top right area, about 2 o'clock. He's going to be in blue, and Stork is going to be in the bottom left section of the map, and it looks like he is brown or yellow or orange or something along those lines. And, yeah, it should be interesting. But real quick, though...
The probe just came out, by the way. Did you see that, Moletrap? Looks like Stork is going to be going for that proxy gateway, like I was saying, moving towards the middle of the map.
You were right.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think it's
yeah, I'm just going to say, on Chapon Ryong, it's not actually a bad move, because if the Terran can pull SCVs, if you force the Terran to pull enough SCVs, you could really gain an economic advantage, even if you don't really succeed in your rush. And Stork is going to be going for that favorite spot of many, many Protosses of late, including Best, for example, who did that against Stork in the first game of their OSL series. But I think Fantasy is definitely going to scout this. I'm just going to predict this. I mean, Fantasy really, I mean, if we know this, that Protoss does this all the time, Fantasy knows this. And here comes the scouting SCV from Fantasy. And...
he's thinking about... oh, he waited to see if the probe came out of there.
He saw... he's... Oh, there he goes.
Sorry, I guess we're going to have to try and adjust for our possible time lag here. There's the SCVs coming out there.
Yeah, there's SCVs.
Oh, he does put the second gateway down to even block some of the SCVs from killing the first gateway. Wow. That is actually a smart move. I'm not sure if the SCVs can get through there, but that is really, really smart there. Yeah, I think that's just a block, because what we've seen in the past is sometimes players will just, I think Best did this just the other day, put down one gateway, just put on some pressure, but not go all in on it. So that might be what he's trying to do. Let's see if he steals the gas too.
I think it delayed the barracks significantly, and I think that was a lot of the big idea with this, because well, he had 5 SCVs mining for a lot of the time, and yeah, the gateway does get cancelled, so that was the entire goal of that was to block those SCVs. So a really creative play from Stork. And is he going to steal the gas? Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, stealing the gas, I don't know if he will actually do it. Oh, 2 barracks going up for Fantasy. This is what I was saying, because I think this game has actually gone to the point where Fantasy is going to need to do something drastic, like 2 racks, to be able to recover. Stork already with 1 Zealot inside the base, and by forcing him to go for those 2 racks, he's already putting him way behind if he doesn't decide to commit, of course, with some kind of all-Marine strategy. He's already taken out 1 SCV here. A Marine coming out with that group of SCVs. He might be able to chase the Zealot around, but the Zealot still might be able to pick off a couple of SCVs as it goes around. There was a shot of I Love UV there. And oh man, Fantasy needs to be careful with that Marine micro there. I'm sure he's been practicing this many times, but Stork, he has 1 Zealot killing another SCV going down there, and the other, the Marines basically forced to run away here. Looks like the Marines actually might get cornered here. Looks like both Marines go down, and wow, no, there's still 1 Marine left, but it's being chased away here. Stork's micro is just too good at this point, and the crowd is going wild.
Yeah,
oh my goodness!
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Stork, and this is the situation where you see what a player is made of. You see what kind of micro they have, and Fantasy is not up to the task of facing Stork, is what it looks like. Even with 2 barracks putting up, Marines popping all over the place. Midas and other SKT player in the stands looking on dumbfoundedly as Fantasy has 4 SCVs left. 3!
Oh my
4
goodness!
SCVs left. Barely able to put out Marines. Mining with, he's got an idle SCV for goodness sakes. Fantasy has just been completely knocked off of his game here, and Stork has been macroing up the whole time this has been going on.
Yeah, this is game here. I mean, this is just wow. Fantasy just fell apart this game, I gotta say. Now, oh man, I feel bad if that's Fantasy's mom watching her son get, you know, just torn apart like this. Oh, just shot a Fantasy. Oh my God, Stork. Oh man. I mean, how much of this is psychological intimidation? You know, yeah, exactly. How much is Stork basically just, you know, slapping this kid in the face and being like, you know, welcome to the OSL finals, son. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't
he's
said
won
much,
this game. He's won this game, but you know, you just got. Go ahead. Fireman hero there.
Completely yes, Fireman hero.
Yeah. You know, oh man, the probe's going in now. Wow, Stork. Actually, he's gonna lose a lot of these probes, but oh, there's the Dragoon. Yeah, man. He's gonna be fine.
That was a bit silly on Stork's part, I have to say, but I guess he just wanted to end it quickly, and maybe like you said, this. I mean, it might be that. Look at that, no SCVs mining. It might be that he wanted to achieve an early psychological victory because, to be honest, that's why Joe won the last OSL, and that's why Stork was able to beat Best. I think is a lot of psychological play as well. So. You know, big early win here. Stork putting the aggression on, putting the pressure, definitely huge amount of pressure right on Fantasy right at the beginning. And Fantasy, you know, this is his first time in the OSL, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little bit shaken by all this. He doesn't have a lot of experience in the limelight. I mean, he's only started playing on televised StarCraft like a couple months ago, so he is not used to this kind of pressure.
Yeah, you can see it on his. You can see it on his face when they panned to him as he was taking the headphones off. He looked like he was just completely exasperated. I'm not sure I've ever actually seen a Terran player lose to the one gateway thing. Usually they just the Protoss just does that to kind of harass and then just transition into more standard play, just gain a slight edge. I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually completely win with that build. So